Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. A federal high court judge has ordered that the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, be remanded in prison custody and not in the custody of the Department of State Services. The prosecution has urged the court to order Nnamdi Kanu's remand in DSS custody, but the defense lawyer opposed this. Justice Soho eventually ruled against the federal government's application for the continued remand of the Biafran leader in DSS custody. Kanu and two others were arraigned before the court for treason, management of an unlawful group, smuggling of radio transmitters, and firearms.
The court has taken cognizance of this case, and the court has ordered that the defendants should be detained in the prison custody, and the case has been adjourned to Monday the 25th of this month, so that application for the bail of the three defendants can be argued. And that is the only thing that had happened. The defendants have been properly arraigned before the court. The court has taken cognizance of the case. What
took place today was the arraignment of the three accused persons. So they took their plea of not guilty, and then by conventional practice, they are supposed to be sent to Nigerian prisons.
A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the federal government to produce the immediate past National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired in court on February 16th. Dasuki is facing charges ranging from possession of illegal firearms, retention of funds said to be proceeds of unlawful acts, and also having possession of over 37 million naira in his residence in Sokoto State. At the resumed hearing on Wednesday, the judge, Justice Ademola Adeniyi, ordered for the production of the accused person in court after both the prosecution and the defense lawyers withdrew various applications they had filed earlier. He then adjourned the trial to February 16th and 17th.
Today was adjourned to hear all pending applications. And now that there are no pending applications before the court, that was why we made an application for a date for hearing to be fixed. And the judge has graciously, with the agreement of the counsel to the parties, adjourned the matter for hearing to the 16th and 17th of February 2016. So we believe on that day, barring any further applications, trial will commence. The federal government has never disobeyed any order of court. The federal government has never disobeyed any order of court. The other time, with all the hue and cry, the passport in issue was with the registrar of the court, not with the federal government. And in any case, nobody prevented him from the airport, from traveling. He was not prevented from going anywhere. So the federal government, as we speak on this matter, just like I mentioned before the court, this is the matter we have come for. If there are other matters, they are extraneous issues to this matter. So on this matter, the federal government has not disobeyed any order of court. And the federal government is law-abiding, and they will continue to be law-abiding.
Brought to court against two things. One, he's supposed to be on bail. Two, he's supposed to have gone and received medical treatment. And we understand he's in the custody of the prosecution. That is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, we've made our points clear in court. It is a very sad situation where you find that orders of court are brazenly disobeyed. But that is for the court to decide on the next adjourned date, as we intend to bring an application to discharge the defendants in the face of all this wild, brazen disobedience of court orders.
Nigeria's electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says a total of 82 elections in the country were nullified by the appeal court. Speaking at the first consultative meeting between the commission and leaders of the political parties, INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu regretted the alarming spate of nullification of elections. According to him, the figure is the highest in the history of the country.
As at yesterday, 82 elections were nullified, 82, and still counting, because we have two cases yet to be decided in Oshun, and another two cases yet to be decided in Bayelsa. So we have 82 elections nullified by the Court of Appeal. 2 of the 82 will proceed to the Supreme Court. the governorship elections in Rivers and Akwa Ibom, but the others have reached the end of the road as far as litigation is concerned, because they don't go beyond the courts of appeal. But in addition to the nullified elections, we have 15 other elections where petitioners were declared winners by the courts. So the courts did not decide that we should rerun the elections, but they said we should issue certificates of return to those declared winners by the courts. Out of the 15, we have the following breakdown. 6 out of the 15 are from the People's Democratic Party, 5 APC, 2 APGA, 1 Labour Party, and 1 ADC, the African Democratic Congress. 3 senatorial seats were upturned, 2 House of Representatives, and 10 State Assembly seats, making a total of 15 elections. We have since issued the certificates of return to the 15 winners declared by the courts in compliance with the judgment. Now, this is the highest number of court-nullified elections in the history of our democracy. Some of you may recall that in 2007, we had a total of 20 cases. In 2011, we had 34, making a total of 54 elections nullified in 2007 and 2011 combined. But in 2015, we have 82 cases so far, plus 15 upturned elections, making a total of 97 elections. And the 82 elections will be conducted between January this year and March.
The Speaker of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, Kombowe Benson, has stepped down from his post weeks after a Court of Appeal ruling sacked him from office. The Court of Appeal had on December 9th ruled that Benson's election was null and void. His dismissal brings to 5 the number of members of the State Assembly sacked by the Election Petition Tribunal in the state. His decision to step down from the position of Speaker was noticeable at Tuesday's sitting, with Deputy Speaker Abraham Igombere presiding over the House consideration of the 2016 appropriation bill submitted to it by the state governor, Sirike Dixon. Now, Nigeria's federal government says that the deadly Lassa fever outbreak has claimed 76 lives out of 212 suspected cases reported from 62 local government areas in affected states. Minister of Health Professor Isaac Adewale confirmed this at the Emergency National Council of Health meeting in Abuja on the outbreak of the disease. Adewale listed the 17 affected states as Bauchi, Niger, Taraba, Kano, Rivers State, Oyo, Ondo, Edo, Plateau, Gombe, Nasarawa, Lagos, Delta, Ekiti, Ebonyi, Zamfara, Kogi, as well as Abuja.
This battle is not for us alone. It has to be a nationwide exercise where we will update ourselves with strategies for prevention, strategies for active case identification, strategies for management, and develop a long-term strategy for containment. I have described the outbreaks as a national embarrassment. We can manage embarrassment, but when we allow another outbreak to occur August 2016, it will become a national shame for all of us. And so one of the things we must do is to prevent us dragging this nation into shame. And the only way to do that is to stamp out Lassa fever. We ought to have added Taraba, but we just said, look, whatever we were able to find in the 3 states will also be applicable to the other states. As of today, we will add Edo, we will add Rivers, we will add Plateau to the hotspots. And in fact, all states should be regarded as hotspots, whether you have uncovered any or not. This is what we have. I think as of today, we've updated by the situation report from NCDC. As of today, 17 states are affected across the country when we started counting back from August. It has affected 62 local governments across the country. We've been able to pick 212 suspected. When we suspect it, let us assume it is. Rather than to assume it is system failure, and then we will not be able to salvage the individual.
Authorities in Lagos State have also confirmed 3 cases of the widely spreading Lassa fever. Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Jide Idris, revealed this at a press briefing in Abuja. The commissioner, however, noted that a medical doctor who is one of those affected with the disease is currently undergoing treatment. He informed that all health facility workers in the state had been alerted to create isolation units in their various hospitals, both private and public, assuring that any case beyond their abilities will be attended to by the state.
We are aware of the first case that we told the public. The AB student came to Lagos, was diagnosed with. He has been placed on treatment and is doing fine. But just yesterday evening around 6 p.m. we were told of 2 cases. One, somebody living in Lekki, a woman who had apparently traveled to Edo State sometime not too long ago. Came back, she was hospitalized in the hospital for about 6 days. When she wasn't doing well, she was now referred to mainland hospital. But she died within hours of 30 minutes. The problem we don't have a problem, but what we need to do now is how to dispose our body properly, how to do the burial properly according to protocol.
The Nigerian military has described the recent multiple attacks on several pipelines in the Niger Delta region as an act of economic sabotage. In a statement released by the military said these attacks were carried out by some criminal elements bent on destroying the nation's strategic assets, adding that such actions will no longer be tolerated. The statement comes days after President Muhammadu Buhari vowed to crack down on oil thieves. Now, following the recent attacks on multiple crude oil pipelines, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) says it has shut down operations in Port Harcourt and Kaduna refineries. The NNPC said the attacks had generated crude supply challenges, adding that both refineries were simultaneously shut on Sunday. A statement by the spokesperson of the corporation, Ohia Legbe, said the measure was reached after the Bonny Okrika crude supply line to the Port Harcourt refinery and the Escravos Warri crude supply line to the Kaduna refinery suffered breaches. The acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, has assured that the commission will not disobey any court order as it continues its war against corruption. EFCC has been criticized for and accused of failing to adhere to court orders, which had granted bail to some accused persons. However, speaking with journalists in Abuja, Magu assured that the commission would not flout any court order.
I assure you that we will never have a cost. We never had any cost to disobey any court order, and we will not disobey any court order. So it's not true that we have called AFCC. There is no such disobedience to court order. We have never, and we will never disobey any valid court order in the performance of our duty. We need your support. There is no doubt about that. We cannot exist, we cannot function properly in doing this work, in doing what we do, without your support. Like I say, it is not about me or about EFCC. It's about Nigeria. It's about the entity called Nigeria.
Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi signed 6 agreements to enhance bilateral relations between them. The signing of the agreements on trade, finance and judicial matters was witnessed by President Muhammadu Buhari and the Crown Prince of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Among the agreements signed by the President is the repatriation of stolen funds and extradition of culpable officials. The mutual legal assistance on criminal and commercial matters will allow the UAE government to return monies hidden or invested in banks and real estates in the country. Other agreements signed with the government of that country include avoidance of double taxation agreements, agreement on trade promotion and protection, judicial agreement on extradition, and transfer of sentenced persons. TV360 will take a short break now. When we come back, we'll look at business and international stories. Please don't go away.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on TV360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. Crude futures slumped again in Asian trade on Wednesday, with U.S. oil dropping more than 3% toward $27 a barrel and its lowest since 2003. This comes amid worries of global oversupply. U.S. crude futures were trading down 97 cents at $27.49 a barrel, the lowest since September 2003. Brent crude was down 2.4% at $28.08 a barrel, around a 12-year low. Stock markets worldwide tumbled, with investors unsettled by the continued slide in oil prices and fears about the impact on global growth. A militant gun attack has caused carnage at a university in northwest Pakistan, with at least 19 people dead and 50 others injured. 4 suspected attackers were killed in a battle that lasted nearly 3 hours at Bacha Khan University in Charsada. Troops continue to secure the campus, checking classrooms and dormitories amid fears more bodies would be found. There are conflicting reports about whether the Taliban militants carried out that assault. The attacks come a little more than a year after the massacre of 134 students at a school in the area by gunmen. The Court of Arbitration for Sports has dismissed the appeal filed by Barcelona striker Luis Suarez over the 2-match copper ban handed to him by the Spanish Football Federation. The Uruguayan was handed a 2-game ban after being reported by a referee for inciting opposing players. The 28-year-old denied any wrongdoing and had taken his appeal to CAS with a view of having the ban rescinded. However, the court decided not to review his appeal. He will now miss the first leg of the Spanish Cup's quarter-final tie with Athletic. Jorge Sampaoli has announced his resignation as the head coach of the Chilean national team following a dispute with the head of the Football Federation of Chile. The Argentine had led the La Roja to their first ever Copa America title on home soil last year, but had seen his relationship with the court's football authorities deteriorate after the resignation of the former president Sergio Jadue following a corruption scandal. Sampaoli has also been investigated during the scandal and had tried to negotiate a reduction in the exit clause in his contract, but his request was initially refused by the new president, Arturo Sala. His wish has now been granted with a deal reached between the 55-year-old and the ANFP. That's all we have today on News Now. We thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.